Hi, I'm Ed, and in this video we're going to take you through the required steps to install the Contempo PowerView Motorized Drapery hardware with wall mount brackets. First, we want to unpack all the components of the Contempo Drapery hardware.
Here are the tools that you will need for this installation: hammer, flat blade screwdriver, number 2 Phillips screwdriver, the appropriate sized level or laser, measuring tape, pencil, cordless drill including a 1/8 inch drill bit, and a number 2 Phillips driver. Included in the bracket packaging are a 2mm and a 3mm Allen wrench for attaching the wall brackets to the base plate and the track. To remove the hardware from the tube, make sure to use a rubber mallet. Firmly pound the end of the tube with the insert. This will displace the metal insert. Remove all of the components and lay them out on a clean, flat surface.
If you don't feel the motor head, you will need to open the opposite side of the tube to remove the track. Now, let's determine the top hole position of the wall bracket.
The first step of installing the hardware is locating and marking the top hole position for the backplate. In this example, we are centering over the opening. Start by measuring the width of the track. Next, subtract the width of the opening from the track measurement and divide that number in half. Lightly mark the wall. These marks represent the ends of the track. Measure in 7 inches from each side to mark the end bracket position.
Equally space the remaining brackets.
Mark the interior bracket location. Next, determine the top hole position by adding 2 1/4 inches to the ordered height of the drapery if measured to the floor. This adder will give you a 1/2 inch of floor clearance.
Now that we've located the top hole position, we can go ahead and attach the back plates.
First, line up the top hole of the backplate with the top hole pencil mark and screw your fastener into the slots below the top hole. Use a level to make sure that the brackets are level. Align the back plates by using the slotted hole to adjust the brackets for level. Install the final screw into the top hole. Place the decorative faceplate over the backplate and thread the wall bracket onto the backplate. Make sure that the bracket is tight, otherwise the rod will sag. Once tight, loosen the set screw and the back of the bracket using the provided 2mm Allen wrench and reorient the wall bracket facing down. Install the track starting with one of the center brackets. Mark the position of the bracket on the rod using a piece of blue tape and then align the blue tape with the bracket. This will help us in centering the rod over the window.
Here we have the PowerView motor, PowerView power supply, and the PowerView transceiver.
Slide the carriers to the half-open position. Remove the sticker on top of the motor. Attach the transceiver to the motor housing with the data plug facing down and slide the transceiver to the bottom of the motor.
Do not connect the power to the transceiver until instructed to do so.
Angle the motor and align the motor drive head into the track gear gaps. Affix the motor to the track with a small turn and align with the motor locking pin. Look for the orange arrow and slide the locking pin up into the motor housing on the track.
Pull down on the motor to make sure it's locked in place.
Plug the DC power supply into the motor first before plugging it into the wall to avoid arcing at the motor. Loop the cord through the strain relief. Install the power supply by marking the location you would like to place the holder. Install using 2 screws and slide the power supply into the holder. Thread the cord through the strain relief. Now that we have installed the drapery on the Contempo rod, we can set the open and closed limits. Double-check that the master carriers are positioned between the open and closed positions. Plug the power cord into the outlet. Pull the lead carrier about 1 inch towards the closed position. The motor will automatically start closing until it stalls, setting the closed limits. The motor will then automatically move towards the open limit and stall, setting the open limits. To change the open limit, you have 10 seconds to move the master carriers to the desired stack back position. Some fabrics hang better with a looser stack. Plug the data cable into the port labeled Port 2 aux. Alternately press the programming button on the bottom of the transceiver to open and close the drapery.
If at any time you'd like to reset the limits, you can.
First, set the master carriers on the drapery to sit between the open and closed positions. Using a pen, press the motor configuration button 4 times while watching the LED lights that will blink 4 times. Then, press and hold for 5 seconds until the LED light is turned off. Pull the lead carrier about 1 inch towards the closed position. The motor will automatically start closing until it stalls, setting the closed limits. The motor will then automatically move towards the open limits and stall, setting the open limits. To change the open limit, you have 10 seconds to move the master carriers to the desired stack back position.
And that's how you install and set the limits for the Contempo PowerView Motorized Drapery hardware.